take you back a moment. I want you to imagine that we're living during the Tkufa of the Bayis Sheni. And in your mind, I want you to imagine you're by Yerushalayim Shel Mata, the Ir HaTachton, which is now what's called the Siloam, Ir David, or the Siloam Valley. And we're looking up the mountain towards the east side of the Beis HaMikdash, which today is where the southern wall excavations are. And we're looking through the gates as we wake up early in the morning, getting up to start our day of Avodas Hashem. We're looking westward, towards the Kodesh HaKadoshim. And suddenly, we see something sparkling in the Beis HaMikdash. And as soon as that thing sparkles, we all know it's time to say Kriya Shema. Higiyah Zman Kriya Shema Shel Shachris. And that thing that we're seeing sparkling is the Mivreshes which Hilani HaMalka donated to the Beis HaMikdash. Who was Hilani HaMalka? She was actually known as Queen Helena. She was a queen, a Goyish queen, who came from Ashur, which was way out Iraq, northern Iraq, thousands of kilometers away from Eretz Yisrael. There's a whole long family history, but she was related to Sancheiriv, who led the destruction of the Bayis Rishon. And she was a descendant, and she, thousands of miles away, became inspired by Yiddishkeit and traveled thousands of miles to come to Yerushalayim and to become a Giyeres. And one of the things that she did as a Giyeres was to donate the Mivreshes, which was posted in the Beis HaMikdash, so that everyone can know when the Zman of Kriya Shema Shel Shachris comes. The sun would sparkle off of it. It would look like sparks are flying off of it, the Gemara explains. It was built in a way with such genius that you felt it was alive. And people knew, all of Klal Yisrael knew, now it's time to say Kriya Shema Shel Shachris. And perhaps there's something deeper here. Why is it that Hilani HaMalka, Queen Helena, who was a Giyoras, was Zocha that she should be the one to let Klal Yisrael know when it's time to be Mekabel Ol Malchus Shamayim? Why did she get this chus? I'm sure there were many people who had a lot of money who could have afforded such a golden edifice, a golden work of art that could also sparkle. Why did the Chazal choose Dafka, her donation, to be the one to tell Klal Yisrael to be Mekabel Ol Malchus Shamayim? Perhaps the answer to this goes very, very deep. I just want to share just a little bit about other Gerim in the history of Klal Yisrael till almost recent times during the Holocaust. Back in Transylvania, in the 1600s, there was a village called Bezd Ofalo. Don't know how to pronounce it properly. Bezd Ofalo, which was a village, a Christian village. And in this Christian village, they became inspired by the Yidden who lived nearby, and they decided to reject Christianity and to live a life like Yidden. They did not convert in the 16th century, but they kept Shabbos as much as they were allowed to. They davened straight from a Jewish siddur, which was translated, 3 tefillos a day, and they mamish lived by the mitzvahs, although they didn't convert. And the Christians began to persecute them, and ultimately told them, you have a choice either to come back to Christianity, or we're going to take away your money, or we're going to kill you. And most of them decided they're going to leave, rather than give up Yiddishkeit. And for 200 years, this community lived in hiding, keeping the Torah and keeping the mitzvahs as goyim, until the 18th century. In the 18th century, there was a decree, an edict given by Franz Joseph that gave Jews equal rights to the non-Jews. And when Franz Joseph gave that decree, this community decided to come out of hiding, and 200 families converted in one day by the Einikol of the Chassam Sofer. The Einikol of the Chassam Sofer, Reb Moshe Sofer, was a moil, and he traveled to the city, and he did 200 bris milas to the fathers, plus many more to the children, and he named the entire Kehillah after his Zaydas, after the Chassam Sofer, the Ksav Sofer. The names that almost everyone in the Kehillah had were Moshe, Avram, Shmuel, Binyamin, Shmuel, Binyamin, Moshe, Avram, all different tzirufim, but he chose to be mechabe the kahila by naming them after his own fathers and his zaydas of this famous Sefer family. And they lived as Yidden. They converted and they lived as Yidden for a long time, until into the 19th century, until into the 20th century, when Hitler came along. And when Hitler came to this kahila, he was very, very nice to them. And instead of just throwing them into cattle cars, he said to them, I know you're descendants of converts. If you're willing to go back to Christianity, I'm not going to kill you. But if you're not going to go back to Christianity, Hitler said, I'm going to kill you the same way I killed the Jews. Every single member of this kahila died al Kiddush Hashem. Not one was willing to go back to the way of Christianity. And when we hear such stories, and when we meet such Gerim, we get the goosebumps. We get inspired. We feel appreciation for what they're showing us, the Mesiras Nefesh that they are showing us. And they give us a renewed appreciation, a renewed excitement, a geschmack in what we ourselves are living through every single day. We know that over the Dairos there have been hundreds of Zmiros that were written by the Rishonim, by the Achrayim. But if you look into our bencher today, there's very few. There's 5 Zmiros for Friday night, 5 Zmiros for Shabbos day. One of the Zmiros for Shabbos day is Yom Zeh Mechubad Mikol Yomim Ki V'Shavas Tzor Ha'olamim. Who wrote this song? So if you look at the first letters of each kapitel, each stanza, we know it's Yom Zeh Mechubad is Yod, Sheishes Yamim is Shin, Sin, Reish is Rishon, Echol Mashmanim, and then Loisech Sarkovai, Yisrael, right? A man named Yisrael. What do we know about Yisrael? Continue into Hashemayim. Hashemayim Ersaprim Kevoidai. The correct girsa is Gam Haaretz Malachastoi. That's Hey Gimel. Ri'u Kichol Elech Asisa Yodei Reish Yisrael Hager. We don't know much about him, but we know that it was a ger named Yisrael who wrote this kapitel. Now there's something very unique about Yom Zeh Mechubad, more than all the other knigunim, because Yom Zeh Mechubad is an electrifying nigun. It's a nigun that just speaks about the geschmack of Shabbos. Yom Zeh Mechubad Mikol Yomim Ki V'Shavas Tzor Ha'olamim. A regular FFB, from birth, Shabbos, almost as man, hurry up, we're tired, fall asleep during the Suda maybe, if not during the Suda, fall asleep after the Suda. Yisrael Ager came from the outside and he told Klal Yisrael, Yom Zeh Mechubad Mikol Yomim, Rishon Hu L'Mikroi Kodesh, Yom Shabbos and Yom Shabbos Kodesh, Al Kein Kol Ish B'Yena Yekadesh. And he goes on, Echol Mashmanim Shazei Mamtakim Kikal Itim L'Chol Boy Devekim, the Eibishter loves you. Lo Yisech Zar Kol Boy V'Achalta V'Savata, Hashemayim Esaprim Kevoidai. Mundane things that we as regular Yidden don't necessarily appreciate, but Yisrael Hager came from the outside, and he was able to inspire all of us till today, that the Yiddishkeit that we practice, and just the world, the beauty of the world, the way we see it today, is so much more beautiful than we're paying attention to. And if we just focus on it, we'll have such a greater appreciation of Yiddishkeit. And perhaps this is why his Pismain Dafka was chosen to be the Pismain that we all sing till today, because of how it's electrified. It shows us such excitement and allows us to appreciate Shabbos so much more. Perhaps that is why in Shemona Esrei, in the bracha of Al Tzadikim, V'al Chasidim, V'al Ziknei Amcha Beis Yisrael, it's a very, very heavy introduction. Al Tzadikim, Chasidim, Ziknei Amcha Beis Yisrael, Pleitash Seifrehem. This we're talking about people on great madregas. V'al Gerei HaTzedek. And finally we get to V'aleinu, and us as well. Because we're lifting up the Gerei HaTzedek on a pedestal that they're better than us. Because they're showing us that it's exciting. They're showing us that we should be feeling that appreciation that they see from the outside and chose to give up their Derech HaChaim and adopt our Derech HaChaim. That's something which we appreciate, that we show thank you to them, that we respect them for. And therefore we daven for the Gerei HaTzedek before we daven for even ourselves. If we watch the way Reb Shmuel and his wife are mechanech, unsere Bar Mitzvah Wocher, which today is a very special day, besides the Bar Mitzvah, it's also when he's mekabel again, the Oil HaMitzvahs. We see the way Leivi davens in shul with such beautiful yiras shamayim, the way he's mamish, he's focused, he sits in his place, the way he goes around with the pushka and collects tzedakah, and the way he's so involved with the kehillah, and he has such a sweetness, and the way he greets everyone and shakes everyone's hands and gives everyone hugs. The geschmack that the Vivanka family has brought to our kehillah is something just beautiful. And it's something which, as a kehillah, we really, really appreciate. And we're full of akar satayv that we were zeicha to have you move into our community, that we're able to be a part of your life, and we're able to be a part of the simchas that you're making. And Amir Hashem, as a kehillah, we should be zeicha to share all of your simchas, and you should be zeicha to share all of our simchas. And we should be zeicha to go greet Mashiach Tzidkenu together. From here, Amen. Amen.